welcome back to Visions. I'm Mirella Rich. If you've just joined us, we're here with Margaret Cross and Shane Hubner, who describe themselves as activators and wisdom teachers. Welcome back to the program.
Thank you.
Now, can you tell us about the training you did? You've gone to South America, and what was involved?
Well, you can start off.
Okay, training. I think training really starts off living with nature.
Yeah.
Being part of it. When I was a young boy on the farm that we're developing, our primary school had 6 kids in it through the whole grades. So I spent a lot of time building tree houses and tunnels and rafting on the river.
Oh,
so
beautiful.
I hunted and I regret a lot of things I have done, but I certainly was engaged understanding that common sense arrived out of our ability to have a certain amount of freedom to make choice. And I have a great sadness these days that there are no youngsters out there who have ever had any of the privileges I've had, and we are so confined and so restricted and punished and criminalised for having these experiences. And most of the things that the law has been produced isn't for criminals, it's just to produce a set of restraints, and it's always monetary on it. But
well, we've had to go way outside of the Western system to find training.
Yeah.
And that's meant travelling to South America. Shane's been over and done the South American tour twice.
Yeah.
I've done it once. I asked Great Spirit to connect me with someone who had met shamans. You know, it's not an easy thing to do in Australia. And 6 weeks later, I met Shane.
Wow.
And within 10 minutes, I knew that he'd been to Peru, that he was working with a shamanic teacher. And I was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe this has happened. So from there, my dreams came true. Last year, we went to the second shamanic ayahuasca conference in Activators on the Amazon. And then we did a journey up to, it was about, what, 16 hours up the Amazon River.
Yes.
And we learnt with a 90-year-old shaman, Don Julio, bless his soul, he's now passed on. But we were taught, we were very privileged to have done a lot of our training with him. It was very amazing. And as a consequence, we keep practicing the things that we've learned here, but we're not shy to meet other shamans, and you would be surprised how many of them pass through Australia.
Wow.
Yeah.
And with this training, you've got other people's lives, I guess, in your hands when they come to do the course or whatever. How do you cope with that if they're not very well balanced?
One has to read the energy to begin with, yeah. We set a sacred space. It's not just a metaphorical space. This is a space in which only good energy can exist in that space. So you're creating a protection, and you're giving people, helping them to be clear about the intent that they're bringing through. So it's not done willy-nilly, it's done so that people, you know, they're setting their intent before they come into the circle, before they do the work.
But the space is primarily held in love, that we love our brothers and sisters, and it's that love and that compassion that allows the energy to be in there inclusive. So they can do their little dance of crying or suddenly realising that they had been affected when they were children for one reason or another, there had been some abuse, and they're able to express that. They're no longer total strangers. It is an amazing thing. You know, we often weep with them. It's just so powerful, so powerful that people can finally be validated and have that expression. And when they get rid of that, because everyone has a certain amount of garbage we cart around with us, or we accumulate with us. You know, we can't help rubbing shoulders and amongst all this duality. We have sort of very crazy energies out there. So that is sort of allowed to wash away, or we teach the people not to have an attachment or a clinging or an outcome, desired outcome for it. So once we have somebody go through this healing process, then we can start the real work, which is the warrior training. It's not a warrior of fighting, it's a warrior of love.
Oh, how beautiful.
So we can't do that first when we have sick people. So actually we're kind of behind the 8 ball quite often. We have to bring people up to par first. And then, and everyone has a certain amount of disease and a certain amount of sickness. And
it's interesting, it's a warrior training of love when you were already a warrior in the past, as in the Navy, or was it the Army?
Yes, and it goes way back. So
now it's the opposite from fighting war, it's loving.
Look, no act of violence ever cures anything, it just creates more.
I 100% agree with you.
Yeah, well, this is what we're trying to wake people up to now, and they've got to let go of their own woundings. And, you know, it can be something as little, and it's all subjective, you know, because people go, oh, my wounding was bigger than your wounding. Well, the spirit can't tell the difference between, say, sexual abuse and, say, a mother that was very controlling and was always like, you're stupid and you can't do this. Those things leave a scar on your energy body.
Yeah.
And this is what the shamanic healing is about, is helping people to recognise those and let them go with love.
Yes.
Not judging them, not trying to cut them out.
Love package.
It is, they're part of it.
Well, disappear.
Well, you are who you are,
Yeah.
and all those experiences created the amazing being that you are.
Yeah.
So we're not there to go, that's bad, you've got to get it out of you.
Yeah.
You have to say, is that working for you still?
Hanging on to it.
Well,
yeah.
quite often, though, were the defences that you used as a child or as you were growing up to keep yourself protected. But then you get to a certain stage in your life where they don't sustain your happiness or your health any
They've
longer.
kept you bound, kept you locked down. Yes, the rackets we produce
Yeah.
to get attention or whatever.
And what's your visions? What are your visions?
No locks, no police and police stations, and a minimum government, a government that does have a genuine concern for our external protection and allows us to deal with a certain amount of autonomy with communities like it has in the past. We understand where common law comes from and our Constitution and Imperial Applications Act. And you have a look at all the laws that there are checks and balances, but our checks and balances are no longer there, and there's a state of craziness replaced. And the vision is
Love.
understand everything is sorrowful in the duality, but everything is in delightment.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you so much for having us. That was very exciting.
You've been watching Visions. I'm Mirella Rich, and our guests were Margaret Cross and Shane Hubner. Hope you enjoyed the program. See you again soon.